Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Now I'm just trying to see, how do I do this? There we go. Click. Well, hello. I'm a little bit early. I'm like a minute early, and Billy always tells me that that's a crazy thing to do because people get distracted. They go away. They remember that they needed to warm up their coffee, or they realize that they had to go and powder something somewhere, or the phone rings, or there's a stone in their shoe and best laid plans. And I get excited about the idea that I'm going to do a video, and so I can't wait. So anyway, here I am. Cheers. Welcome back. Now Billy has activated um, this wonderful combination of platforms for me to be able to do the video and have it seen. What's it called? A simulcast? Yeah. And so there's these two platforms, and one of them that has the fancy schmancy warm up lead in countdown is we're not actually on the same page yet, it and I, and so periodically it gives me concern and trouble. And what I do is I keep looking at the clock and I say to myself, okay, so I've given it a considerable amount of effort, and now I'm going to go to the one that I feel a little bit more like I have control in, on, at, whatever. So this is called Restream, and it allows me to be on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Ta-da! I have no idea how it does it. So today, I want to talk about recipes. And I know what you're thinking because you're staring over my shoulder at that lady right there who became famous for having no idea what she was doing in a kitchen. And it was based on me because, of course, I created her, and I famously have no idea what I'm doing in the kitchen. So, because I don't instinctively and intuitively say, I bet those two things will work, I get things like this. Yeah, goodness. This is an ancient book. It's very well worn by me, looking things up, saying, "What the hell am I doing?" The Joy of Cooking. It's been around forever, and mine is food stained, and it has pages marked and turned down because there were recipes that I really liked and I wanted to be able to find again so I didn't have to start from scratch. And then I got this other one recently because I got a new weapon, tool, appliance. Yeah, that's the word. And this is for one of those air fryers. And in here, there's a whole bunch of recipes on how you cook your old familiar stuff, but with this new technology. And I use it. I've got bookmarks and pages turned and food stains on a lot of the pages. Are you surprised? So um, here's here's the thing. I'm not really talking about food today. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about the favorite recipes we have for us when we are facing our day. And the reason I want to talk about it is because it's an analogy, it's a metaphor that we don't really think about. So here's what I'm going to use as an example. So this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is an egg. Now I'm not so foolish as to just bring a raw egg in a dish to my computer because, as I used to say all the time, what's the worst that can happen? So this is actually a hard-boiled egg. Live and learn. So this is a hard-boiled egg. So I could eat this egg just as it is, couldn't I? I could just crack it open and or at least maybe slice off the top. And I could put it in an adorable little egg holder thingy bob. And I could have it on my table, slice off the top, get a little spoon, and I could put, all kinds of seasonings and whatnots on top, and I could scoop it out, or I could just peel the whole thing off, right? Peel off the whole shell and do something different with it. I could slice it up. I could try to swallow it whole. I could mash it up and add some other seasonings and sauces and whatnot and turn it into something else, right? There's all kinds of things I could do once I have hard boiled this egg. I can soft boil the egg and then the middle is a little bit runny, right? There's all different kinds of ways that I could work with a hard boiled egg. The main ingredient is the same, isn't it? The egg. However, it is the technique and the vision and the application and the seasonings that change it, that make it different, that make it rise to the appropriate occasion. Because if it's just me alone at home and I just feel like having a hard boiled egg for breakfast and nothing else, well, there we go. Um, if we want to have toast, all right, well, then I'm going to have another plate. I'm going to make toast. I'm going to pull out the toaster. I'm going to do all that. What do I feel like putting on the bread? Blah, 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 blah. If I want to have a deviled egg, if I want to have, I mean, there's so many things with this one simple egg once I've boiled it. All right. So it means that we start with the egg and we decide what meal, what audience, what purpose, and what outcome. Which part of the day, what kind of fuel, who is going to be eating it, why is the person going to be eating it, and what do we hope to achieve as an outcome? That's really what is going on in our heads every time we pull out one of our favorite recipes and check the ingredients. When we go shopping, we go and look for all of our favorite ingredients, don't we? And we get a shopping list and we write down the things that we're low on or that we're out of. Oh my gosh, why didn't I remember that the last time? Now what am I going to do? I'm completely out of this. What can I substitute? I do that a lot because I forget to check what I don't have. Okay, so what is happening? What is happening to us when we decide that we're going to go and get a favorite remembered recipe? Or what is happening when we decide that we want to try something new? We still start with the basic ingredient. If we have food sensitivities, if we have allergies, if we have things we've thought about, if it's a hot day, if it's a cold day, if we're not feeling well, all of those ingredients to our mood recipe influence the choices we make for fuel, right? So that business with the egg, I can do other things, I mean, I have this little pot, which I really quite like because it's the perfect size for somebody like me. If I'm going to cook half a dozen eggs, so I have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge for the week, and I can do anything with them. And it's a nice size little pot. But you know what else you can do with eggs and a pot like this? You can scramble the eggs. I know, you're thinking, no, frying pan. Yeah, I saw this video many, many years ago where someone was saying, if you've never scrambled eggs in a pot, in a pan like this, you don't know what you're missing. And I thought, what? Why? That's crazy. And then I continued to watch because, hey, it's only an egg. And the whole idea, you scramble the eggs. So here's my little scrambler, right? So you crack the eggs and you put them in and you whisk away. And if you feel like adding a little bit of liquid to it, a little milk or water or whatever, scramble away, scramble away, scramble away, and then turn the heat on. You know what this does? It keeps in the moisture. And as we are, scooping and turning, hold it up so they can see it, folks. Scooping and turning and moving things around, the eggs get fluffier. They get really light and fluffy. I kid you not. Can you believe? This is mom talking. They get light and fluffy because they're being cooked in a different container. Same heat, same ingredients, different container holds in the moisture, makes the outcome different. Huh, isn't that interesting? So, what would that analogy look like with us? If we are deciding that we want to rough it and live off the grid, and we give up all the things, all the culture, creature habits that we've known and grown up with, and we move to the wilds of someplace, and we have to start from scratch. Okay, the ingredient is the same, but the tools are different, and the outcome is different because we have a different purpose and a different intention in mind. We still do the same thing. We still have to forage, we still have to rest, we still have to eat, we still have to think and plan and do all kinds of things. The how and the tools and weapons create a different outcome. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Huh. So here's another thing that's kind of cool. Cooking with mom. Can you believe it? So I found this little gubbins at one of those cool kitchen stores. And it's really cute. It looks sort of like a cartoon egg, and even the edge of it looks like an egg broken. So here's what is really handy about this, and they come in a package of two. And so so here's what you do: you start with a little bowl, and you actually you don't even need the bowl. You can put the egg, a raw egg, you crack the egg, raw egg in here, and you can add things to it. Right? So you've got the raw egg, and you get your little weapon of mass construction, and you go whisk, 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 whisk. And you get actually a smaller one. I have a little teeny weeny one that works for this. And so you bloop it all up, right? And then you get some stuff. So what do you like to have with your egg? Do you like onions? Do you like other veggies? Do you like meat of some kind? Do you like other crunchy things? Do you like red and green and blue things? Do you like yellow and orange things? The choice is yours. You can dice up things that you had for dinner, and you put it all in, and you use your little weapon of mass construction, and you bloop it all around, and you put it in the microwave like that. And it cooks up into a little one person bite size omelet. How fun is that? I don't know, it's for a minute or something. And so there you are. And how do you clean it? Well, I don't know, it's silicone. I think you just rinse it, right? You don't even need to use the dishwasher. So what just happened with this? What happened with this? Well, what I did in terms of using something like this is I tried a different appliance. I tried different technology to see what the outcome was. But I started with the same basic ingredient. And then I looked at all the things that I could do that would be really fun and interesting to combine. And I added them. And I mixed them all up. And I only made one because what if I didn't like it? All right. But if I loved it, oh my goodness, I can make more. So in the reference to us, a completely different kind of technology allows us to bring the different elements of us together so that we still have the egg. It's still us. We are the original egg, but we are presented in a different way to a different audience with different ingredients because we used a different platform. So we have these and these. And there's my little my little egg frying pan. Here's another little serving dish, which is really fun. This is nice when I do the omelet, right? The omelet the more traditional way in the frying pan. Then I can put it in there, and it's just dinner for one. Do I want to have breakfast for dinner? Do I want to have it for lunch? Do I want to have it for a middle of the night snack? I can do whatever I want. So that's the combination, just the beginning of the combination that is possible just from starting with one basic ingredient. I did a lookup to be able to say something historically interesting. People have been eating eggs since there were people. People have, once they got fire going, they figured out how to cook the eggs, but they ate them raw for a long time. But since there were people, millions of years, eggs have been an ingredient in our diet as a staple. It's been around forever. Okay, so let's move on from the egg. We've been around for millions of years. In the beginning, it was pretty basic. In the beginning, we had very limited tools. We had almost no technology. We didn't even really have speech. We pointed and grunted. We responded to the world around us based on a primitive instinct for survival. If something was big and scary, we made ourselves big and scary. If something was small and vulnerable, we didn't have to be big and scary. We could be calm and kind and nurturing. We could teach each other how to learn different skills. I'm good at this. You're not. Let me show you how. We could come together and work together to create a power that's called the tribe. And every single person we come in contact with triggers something in us to present a different set of our ingredients to meet the moment. It's true, isn't it? When we look around us at animals, when we get rid of the idea of what are you wearing and who are you wearing and what did you mean by what you said, and we just look at animals and we watch their behavior and we see the way they get big when there's danger and relax when everything is good and easy and the coast is clear. We see the way they look for food. We see the way they build their nests, their caves, their homes. We see the way they teach each other. We see the way they come together for strength in numbers. We see the way they separate. And we're watching us. I was having this amazing conversation the other day with a very good friend of mine. And oh my gosh, we haven't had a conversation like that in far too long. We laughed. Everybody in the restaurant was looking at us with envy. We didn't look around much, but when we did, we saw people kind of side glancing because we were laughing so much. And you know what? People don't laugh as much anymore. And that's a mistake. That's an ingredient that I want to talk about another time. So what we were talking about, my friend and I, was the signals we stop looking at because we get caught up in the immediate, small, directly in front of us details. We're thinking about us in this moment, and that's normal because we can only see the world through our eyes and all of the filters that we use. So we have pre-digested ideas about the way things are, and then when we look at something, well, we change the ingredients, don't we? You know, if all it is an egg, but we've had a bad experience with an egg, then we look at an egg and we say, oh my God, that's an egg. If all we've ever had is a great experience with an egg, then when we look at it, we say, oh, eggs. Same egg. It's our filter. When we see the way people are behaving today, and we see that they are not getting along, they're not connecting, they're not engaging, they're not collaborating, they're separating, they're polarizing. Which just reminds me of a story that I will tell you in a moment. When we bring the ingredients to the table that aren't meant to get along, when we come into a room aggressively when everyone else is having fun, we create conflict, we create toxicity, we create unpleasantness, and you can see the people separate and move away. Why? Because they're not meant to get along. We have so many ingredients within us. In order to make the recipe that works for us, that fuels us, that makes us happy, that makes us strong, that makes us say, ooh, we need to order that again, as opposed to, oh, what is that called? We'll never order that again. In order to pick those ingredients, we have to do a little bit of homework. We have to look at a recipe once we decide what they're in the mood for. When we say, I'm feeling like something vegan, I'm feeling like something organic, I'm feeling like something gluten-free, I'm feeling like something with all kinds of gravy and grease and fat. When we say, I know that ice cream is fattening and I don't care, I want the biggest tub you have. That's our intention. That's our purpose. We still need the recipe to find out what all the other ingredients have to be in order to make the meal we're craving for. In order for us to be the best that we are, we need to take a step back and check the ingredients we're putting together. Check to see that the heat is on or off. Check to see that we have the time. Check to see that we have the tools and the basic platforms to work from. We need to do our homework. We need to think about what we want and why we want it. We need to do the research to figure out how to get from where we are to where we want to be, wherever that may be. We need to do the work. And I'm the crazy one for being the one to talk about this, because I'm the kind of person who, when I'm hungry, I just want to eat right now. I mean, I want to eat now. I'm hungry now. I don't know which part of that is in my DNA, but the idea of spending an hour, no. What I want is, if I'm hungry now, I would like it ready. I would like to open the oven or the fridge and have somebody hand it out to me. That's my idea of I'm ready to eat. So the idea that I'm talking about taking the time to research, the irony is not lost on me. The reason I'm talking about this is important. We are not doing well collectively. We are polarized for any number of reasons. Now, there's all kinds of time to talk about what those reasons are, but that's a stalling tactic. That's allowing me to push off the purpose of this video today. The purpose of this video today is to say, we are a recipe. Within us, there are many fabulous, crazy, strange ingredients. We don't always have to present as the one same thing every day. We don't have to only be the thing we were yesterday. We have so many ingredients within us. We have the power and the freedom and the ability to say, who do I feel like being today? And pull those ingredients together. We have the power, the freedom, and the ability to look around us and say, that looks like a dangerous situation. I probably need to be powerful today. I probably need to up my listening skills, my thinking skills, my collaborating and communicating skills, so that I can turn the tide in my favor. I have to look for the strongest and bring them into the boat with me. That is a recipe. Those are the ingredients. And every single one of us does it every day when we're hungry. when it's time to eat. You know that joke. What 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 are you famous for making? Reservations. But seriously, we are all famous for putting together something that nourishes us. We do it all the time, every day. The things we watch, the things we read, the clothing we wear, every single thing we do is a recipe to push us forward, to keep us stuck, to fuel us. If it's a recipe, we need to know the ingredients. And in order to thrive and grow and prosper, we need to refresh every so often. Maybe get a new appliance, try something a different way. Ask yourself, what happens when I put this with that? And if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to do it again. But the ingredients in the recipe that is us are incredible. And the outcome is magic. All we have to do is be willing to do the research, be curious to see what else we can do, and be consistent in showing up and practicing and getting gooder at it every day. So now I'm going to tell you the story before we go. I was in college and we were cramming for exams in the cafeteria because, of course, none of us had studied long enough ahead. And there were vending machines, and so people are distracted and they're exhausted and they haven't slept and they're worried and they're completely they're studying the Third Peloponnesian War and they're hungry, and so they just go and they fish out some coins and they throw them in and they push buttons. And one of the fellows at the table went over and he was just bleary-eyed and exhausted and he wasn't coping well. And he went over to the machine and you can plunk, 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 and he pushed the button and he's standing there and he's just standing there like a limp noodle. And he got the thing out and was walking back to the table and he looked down. And then he looked up and he looked very confused and horrified. And he kind of instinctively pushed his hand away from him. And by then he was at the table. And he said, "Does anybody want chicken soup with extra cream and sugar?" And when he put the cup down, the chicken soup and the cream and sugar were roiling around like all the ingredients were trying to get out of the cup at the same time. It was this writhing mass of noodles and colors and clear stuff and globs of things rising to the surface, and everybody backed away. Ooh. I've never in my life seen anything so quite offensive, except the time that they said, "Hey, Abby," for the show, for Mom. Look, it was Dean Carley. And what he had done is he'd taken a plate of liver and lima beans and something else, mashed potatoes. And then he drizzled green food coloring in kind of the way they put chocolate sauce on things in fancy restaurants. And he sprinkled baking soda on top. The thing was like this horrific volcano, moving and oozing and splurping with smoke coming off and whiffs of powder. And he said, "Do you want me to just put it on the table, or are you going to be able to carry it in?" And the best outcome of it was that Dad, Leslie, knew what he was looking at on the plate, and he knew that it was harmless. And in any case, he'd had to have some reconstructive surgery, and it had deadened some of his taste buds many years ago. So he could occasionally eat the most disgusting combinations of food without having any idea until later when he needed Tums. And so when I came in with this thing and I put it down, and all the kids at the table went, oh, I had the same reaction I had when Dean had showed it to me. Dad just picked up a knife and fork and dug in. Oh, the reactions of the kids on camera were priceless. so so the fun of these moments when it goes wrong, the fun of the moments when the first time I tried to make mashed potatoes for a dinner party, I didn't try it the day before because how hard can it be really? And somebody had said, you know what is a great trick? What you do is you use a hand mixer, you know, and you just add a little bit of milk, a little bit of butter to the potatoes, slop them up a bit, and then just put the mixer in, and voila. Yeah. So I did it, and I went from lumps of potatoes to wallpaper paste in 3 seconds. I mean, you could pour them. You could pour the potatoes. And oh my God, I had like 15 minutes. I didn't know what to do. So panic, 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 panic. And I opened the cupboards where all the weapons and tools and whatnot were. And I saw a small aluminum pie plate. And I thought, okay. So I took it out. I poured the potatoes in. And I put some butter on top. And I put some paprika and some parsley on top. And put it in the oven under broil. I gave it a couple of minutes. Ding, took it out, and it was all crusty on top and kind of golden. It looked pretty amazing. But I poked it, and it was still revolting inside. All of a sudden, doorbell. So it's too late. My friends came, oh, something smells good. And I said, oh, I hope so. I really hope so. So whatever else it was that I made, I knew how to make, and that was fine. But I had this dish, and as I brought it in, I said, now, this is not a dish that everybody likes. This is not a dish that everybody likes. It's an old Viking recipe, and it's okay if you don't like it. But I thought, you guys are adventurous. I'll give it a try. I put the thing down. Really? Everybody took some. And they all said, oh my God, isn't this interesting? Oh, it's still, they had seconds. One of them had thirds. And I'm looking at the plate thinking, I don't understand. This can't be right because what? Because, well, I looked at it before and I tasted it, and it not only had the consistency, it also had the taste of wallpaper paste with, camouflage on top. So the outcome of those stories, the point that I'm making, aside from the fact that they're funny, is that the ingredients come together in many different ways, some successfully and some not. When we're not strong and brave in a dangerous moment, we can be in danger. More so than if we go in knowing that we're going to be fighting a battle, right? If we add cream and sugar to chicken noodle soup, all unawares, if we make the mistake of not paying attention in a recipe, not practicing first, we can get it wrong. If we trust a mad scientist with special effects training to present food in a way that is vastly horrible, we get outcomes that are alarming. The special ingredient in this recipe is our intention, our purpose, our goal, our mindset, our willingness to say, how interesting, I'll give it a try. Our ability to practice, to get it right, to do the research, to make it happen. And our desire to spice up our day. So today's video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all shapes and sizes, is to think about all the ingredients we bring, all the facets we truly are, and celebrate them. Enjoy them. Remember that we have the recipes right here. We know how to bring strength when strength is needed. We know how to stand down and open our arms and our hearts. We know how to stand close to those who are strong, lean in to those who are fun, and find our curiosity. Celebrate our dissatisfaction with the status quo, and celebrate diversity. Because all of that is who we are. That's the magic. That's the wonder. That's the mystery. Okay. Cooking class is over, lovelies, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there was an aha at some point. And I hope that when you are reluctant or excited or confused or tentative or tired or lonely or happy, I hope you remember part of this conversation today, because the recipe is more than one ingredient. You can't make a wonderful, fabulous, delicious, exotic egg dish if all you have is an egg. We need the other ingredients that live within us and everyone else. Okay, you know the drill. Be good to you. Whisk it up. You deserve it. And remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you on Thursday with something entirely new. Bye-bye for now.